ready to start. I want, to give a brief introduction. First of all, to thank you for organizing all this for us, and I think that the topic is really interesting and people need to about that. We're working in eTwinning, that I told you what this is about. So it's a community of teachers all around Europe, and in a group which is called Creative Classroom. So we think that what you're doing there is really creative. So we have with us Matt Dunleavy, and he's a director in academic affairs and associate professor in Institute of Technology at Radford University in Virginia, in USA, far away from us. And he has done a lot of work on the topic that goes into this now and about augmented reality, a popular topic nowadays in Europe, to tell you the truth. So we are really looking forward to hearing from you, and thank you once again for accepting my invitation. So much.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation, Irene. I really appreciate it, and it's very exciting for me to be able to speak to my colleagues in Europe. So thank you so much for having me. If at any time during my presentation my video is not working, please let me know, Irene, and I will stop. And I just, are you still there, Irene?
Yeah, I just turn off my camera for the bumper.
Okay. All right, cool. Well, yeah, if something goes wrong. Yes, I worked in this area for about 7 years now. To give you a little bit of background, I had a postdoctoral fellowship at Harvard University in Massachusetts in the United States, and there I really started to work with different teams in the United States, mainly at MIT and the University of Wisconsin at Madison. And you'll see as I present, I continue to work with those teams in various universities. And so real quick off the top, I want to make sure that we are understanding what I mean by augmented reality. I've been working on this for a few years now, and initially when we started, augmented reality seems like a real appropriate. As the field has evolved, I've started to move towards location-based learning, and I'll explain why in a second. But you'll hear me use both of those terms, both location-based learning as well as augmented reality. And so in the next 20 to 30 minutes, what I'll do, I'll answer what do I mean by that? What do I mean by location-based learning and augmented reality? And then what are some examples of location-based learning and AR? That are out there. One is vision-based and one is location-based. The location-based augmented reality uses GPS and the compass within the phone to trigger media in the environment as you walk around in that environment. So here, see an image of the Colosseum in Rome, and you can imagine as you walk around that area, the GPS on your phone would trigger video, would trigger images, would trigger text that you can view through your smartphone. And so what we're doing is we're just leveraging the GPS and the compass. Vision-based or marker-based augmented reality use various software, including Qualcomm's Vuforia, which I believe they just sold, to trigger three-dimensional models on the phone by recognizing two-dimensional images. So in this case, you have a picture of a student pointing at a sign at a zoo in the San Diego Zoo in California. And with the Vuforia technology, the Vuforia software, software that I developed, will actually trigger a three-dimensional model on the phone. I mentioned works with GPS. If you have a smartphone, then you have a GPS chip in your smartphone. It communicates with satellites that orbit the Earth twice a day, every day, and it can take your location on the Earth within about 30 to 60 feet in terms of accuracy. So walk around the environment, we can have information presented to you about the environment. The vision-based uses there. In this case, we've worked with Qualcomm, and they built software called Vuforia, which worked well in terms of the vision-based. being said, I've spent most of my time, in fact, almost all of my time in location-based learning, or the location-based version of AR. So what we're doing is we're basically embedding the physical environment with media that you view and interact with through your smartphone. Scientific American, that it turns the phone into a magic looking glass. And I think that's an interesting metaphor. And there's metaphors that you can thinking about augmented reality or location-based learning. One is the phone is a screen where you're reading things. The other metaphor is the lens that you're looking through. And I think location-based learning is most powerful when it has a lens. Instead of it being a barrier to the environment, it should be a way to dive you deeper into the environment, deeper into interaction with others, and we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. There are several teams from around the world that have been working on this, many teams now that are working on this, from Future Lab in the UK to the team I've already mentioned at Harvard, Wisconsin, and my team here at Radford University who have worked on this. Uses, there's a lot of money being put in the marketing aspect of augmented reality right now, specifically the vision-based or marker-based aspect of it. But you also have some other aspects that I think are yet to be untapped, including education. I think there's a huge opportunity, as well as using location-based learning with education out there that you can use to actually create your own learning or augmented reality. First of which is ARIS, and this is out of the University of Wisconsin at Madison. A gentleman by the name of Dave Gagnon was lead thinker on this, and it came out of a effort, and it's one of the better authoring tools out there. You also have Tailblazer, which came out of MIT, and this is another excellent authoring tool where you can create your own augmented reality or location-based learning. Seven is another tool. I'm not as familiar with it. I believe it's out of Amsterdam, but I'm not quite sure. The Netherlands. Again, it's a similar type of interface where you're embedding the physical environment, some sort of editor, and then interacting with it on the phone. And then finally, there's Fresh Air, and Fresh Air is a product that came out of my lab. We had a National Science Foundation grant, and through the course of that grant, an authoring tool or a editor, as well as an app where you can create your own augmented reality. And I'll go through Fresh Air just very briefly. You can go to playfreshair.com. You can create a free account, and if you're an educator, there are reduced prices and costs there, but you can create a free account and play today if you'd like. What is it? And basically, it's a browser-based editor. So you go to a website, it integrates with Google Maps, and then you experience the reality on your phone. So here we have Google Maps, and here you have Fresh Air. So you put down different locations, and in those locations, I can put YouTube videos, I can put text, I can put audio, I can put assessments such as multiple choice and fill in the blank, and then have the student actually experience it on their phone. It's very customizable, and lots of different possibilities that you can do. In other words, Apple's platform also works on Google's platform. The most written actually last year, and that was written, co-authored with a gentleman by the name of Chris Deedy at Harvard's Graduate School of Education, and it summarizes, at least to that point, what we know about augmented